Lloyd, thank you so much for that. And we have another question coming in now from Bev DiCarlo. Bev, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. And when you're ready, Lloyd is ready for your question. Stay with us. I think, Bev, we just need you to unmute when you get a chance. Bev DiCarlo, there we go.
All right. Thank you so much. I have hearing aids that are rechargeable overnight, and they are automatically linked to my iPhone. What do you think about having that against your head, 18, 20 hours a day?
So actually my wife has a similar problem, and there's always a trade-off here. So to use the device and expose yourself to this radio frequency, microwave radiation, which, thousands of studies show that there are adverse health effects, and it's linked to, all these diseases, including cancer. Or do you not hear so good, or is there an alternative? So that's the trade-off, that's the choice. These exposures from these devices, as I understand it, are low level. And so I said my wife has got one of these devices, but I'd not been able to measure these frequencies because all these different meters, they measure a specific frequency range, and I wasn't actually able to measure that frequency that that her device is using. So it's very much a personal choice. So know the facts, know the dangers, and they are low level. These the Bluetooth is low level, and if really there is no, your choice is, well, heck, I really need this to be able to function. I need these hearing aids. Then focus your attention and energy on mitigating elsewhere, because there's lots of ways in mitigating in your home and in your life as fully as possible, and notably in your bedroom. And I alluded to that during my presentation, is to create this sleep sanctuary, this low EMF sleep sanctuary, and focus on that, so that if you do that, then your body will be more resilient, will be better able to deal with these EMF exposures from your hearing aid.
Lloyd, thank you for that. And Bev, thanks very much for your question. Before we get on to our next audience member with a question, I just want to mention there were a few questions in the chat box. We're going to ask anyone who has a question to please actually raise their hand and come on and ask your question. We won't be able to take questions directly from the chat box. So if you can, we still have a few more minutes. I've got another question from Donna Murphy up next. So go ahead and raise your hand and we'll get to those as well. In the meantime, Donna Murphy, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and unmute yourself. And when you can, we'll have you ask you to keep your question brief and to the point. And Donna, we're just waiting for you to unmute if you can. Let's see if I can do that for you. Donna, are you able to unmute for us? Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Donna, if you can figure out how to unmute for the next time, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Michael Lang. You're up next with a raised hand. Michael, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to unmute yourself, please. And oh, looks like you started to. If you could just hit it one more time. Michael Lang, if you can click on mute one more time, and we'll have you come in with a question. So Michael Lang, once again, if you can unmute yourself, we can ask Lloyd your question. It looks like you're clicking and it's going in and out of mute. Not quite sure what's happening there.
So I'll just show you while we're waiting here.
Thank you.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. So that sounds like Donna Murphy. Is that you, Donna?
That is Donna Murphy. Hi.
Great, Donna. Thank you. Thanks. That's great. So Michael Lang, if you're listening, we'll get back to you and have you unmute when Donna is done. Donna, thanks for joining us. If you can ask a relatively brief and direct question for Lloyd. Thank you.
Okay, I need a new car, new van, and the Toyota Sienna has outstanding mileage on it, like 36 miles per gallon or some really large number. And I'm concerned. I have uterine cancer. My husband has prostate cancer. And I'm concerned about us sitting on the battery. The nickel battery is under the driver's seat. It's the only thing stopping me from just making the deal on this car. Is sitting on a battery. There's no radio waves, but it is a battery. Is that going to be dangerous for my health?
Okay, thank you, Donna. So battery will be emitting magnetic fields, certainly, electric fields probably. So these will be direct current. So what's in a home is alternating current, back and forth, and what's cars are actually running on direct current, like the earth runs on direct current and we run on direct current. But that's to say, not to say it's good, unfortunately. So I can't say, we always want to know what our exposures are, and we're always back, and that's why I'm always back to the OM. So we're understanding, so I've just given you the understanding of what the nature of that exposure. So we're talking about magnetic fields, essentially, perhaps electric fields. And then the second thing we need to do is to measure. That's what I recommend, is to get yourself a meter if you can, or borrow or beg from somebody a meter to get readings. And this meter, by the way, so this is a tri-film meter. It's a bit different to the one I was showing you before, but it's very similar. This actually is designed to measure AC fields, so you won't get an exact reading, but you can measure like your existing car and the new car and compare, something like that, because to get a meter just to measure the car would be quite onerous, quite expensive, and you would only be able to use it for that. Whereas if you had this meter, you can use it for so many things. It measures lots of things. So that's what ideally I would be doing, Donna. And you can actually shield these exposures if you have to. Shielding is not very easy in a car. That's the thing. And before you shield, you would need to get the readings. So we're always back to getting the readings, because otherwise, we're just running blind. We've got no, we're clueless, and we're just throwing money out the window, basically, if we're, shielding stuff without really understanding the why and the wherefore. So that's what I recommend, is to try and get some kind of readings with this. And it's not optimum, to be honest, to be sat over those magnetic fields. So whatever, whether you're healthy or not healthy, or you've got, existing health condition or whatever, but whatever you're, where you are, young, old, you do not want to be sitting over a battery. Okay, so that's my reply to that one.